Today's episode, we're going to talk about affirmative action, why it's nonsense. I'm going to start with a little bit of history about affirmative action. This comes from uci.edu, or the Office of Equal Opportunity and Diversity website. On March 6, 1961, President John F. Kennedy issued Executive Order 10925, which included a provision that government contractors take affirmative action to ensure that applicants are employed and employees are treated during employment without regard to their race, creed, color, or national origin. The intent of this executive order was to affirm the government's commitment to equal opportunity for all qualified persons, and to take positive action to strengthen efforts to realize true equal opportunity for all. On September 24, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson issued Executive Order 11246, prohibiting employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, and national origin by those organizations receiving federal contracts and subcontracts. In 1967, President Johnson amended the order to include sex on the list of attributes. Alright, well, that's a lot different than the affirmative action that we're seeing today. Because the affirmative action we're seeing today encourages companies and organizations to hire people based on their sex, their religion, their race, which is exactly what they were trying to get away from when it started. Even though Asians and whites score higher on their SATs and ACTs to enter college in the United States, they're getting bumped and they're moved out of the way so that underprivileged groups like blacks and Latinos and women and gays can replace them in college because they are historically oppressed. This damages those groups in certain ways. A lot of times those groups are pressured into school and when they don't even want to go there, but they're told by everybody, they're told by their teachers, they're told by their parents that you gotta go to college, so they don't even want to go in the first place, so they end up going. And then when they don't want to be there, they end up studying something that's easy, like gender studies or, ethnic studies or sociology or something that's not going to really help them out in the real world. Also, a lot of times they're forced to go to college and they don't have any scholarship or grants because they didn't perform that well in high school. So now these kids are coming out of college, or they didn't ever finish college and end up with a bunch of debt, further hindering them from actually moving ahead in life and doing well, burdened by $300, $400, $500, $600 of debt every month. Many organizations and institutions will have in their statements saying that they do not discriminate on sex, color, creed, religion, sexuality, whatever. But then they go ahead and give extra points and they try to hire these people on purpose, which is extremely hypocritical. Affirmative action is also not good for companies that hire for that reason, and it's also not good for the people that are hired because of affirmative action. When people are hired because of their color of their skin, because of their religion, because of their gender, because of their sexual preference, they're not being hired because of their ability to perform. You can't have a successful company if you don't hire the best people you can get and you just hire people because of what they look like or because what their beliefs are. You're lowering their self-esteem even more because you're telling them that they're not hired for their skills. They're hired because of what they are, not what their abilities are. And then once they start their job, they're not likely to do very well, and they may not last very long. They may quit because they're not satisfied. And then those companies may have a hard time hiring similar people in the future because they're learning that those groups of people aren't a very good choice to hire. So what they need to do is just hire people on because of their ability to perform and because of their ability to add value to the company. We gotta stop telling people that they're owed something because they're victims of historical oppression. If I apply for a job, I want them to hire me because I have professionalism, because I have demonstrated ability, because I've worked hard, because I can prove that I can add professionalism and efficiency and value to their company. Affirmative action is discrimination. If you want equality, take away affirmative action and let companies hire who they want based on their demonstrated ability. Plain and simple. Anyways, thanks for coming back, and please like and subscribe if you like this channel. Thanks.